Here we are at Part 5, Basic and Advanced Search Strategies. Using these strategies will help you get started and refine your searching. Remember, you always want to start broad, so let's begin with keyword searching. Keep in mind, databases do not play well with complete sentences. A keyword search focuses on the main concept and uses simple, everyday language. Start with that one idea. Some examples of keyword terms would be climate change, heart attack, or zombies. That's right, zombies can be a keyword. Think back to the research question we crafted before. What effects does social media have on people's mental health? I wouldn't want to type this whole question into a database search box. Instead, I would consider the main concepts: social media and mental health. With our keyword in mind, we should consider some similar terms or synonyms. Why? Because not every article about your topic will use the same keyword. Ask yourself, what other words could the author use to describe this concept? For example, one article about zombies may use the term zombie, while another uses living dead. It's a good idea to make a list of similar terms before you start searching. Here is my list for zombies. Zombies, walkers, living dead. Which leads us to the next tool in our search strategy toolbox: Boolean operators. I know, library jargon. The Boolean operators are and or not. When you use them in library databases, they can make your searches more precise, which can save you time. Let's start with and. And narrows a search by telling the database that all keywords must appear in the source. For example, if I search for zombies and vampires, my search would only retrieve materials that mention both terms. This search would not retrieve any results that discussed only zombies or only vampires. It would only retrieve that narrow slice of results that discusses the two. The next Boolean operator is or. Or broadens a search by telling a database that any of the words are acceptable. This is particularly helpful when you're searching for synonyms. For example, not every source is going to use the term zombie. Any Walking Dead or Resident Evil fan knows that there is more than one term for zombie. A good way to structure your similar terms is to use or. For example, zombies or walkers or living dead. This will retrieve maximum results. The final Boolean operator is not. Not narrows your search by telling the database to eliminate all terms that follow. This is useful when you are interested in a very specific aspect of a topic, or if you want to exclude a certain type of sources. For example, if you want sources on zombies but don't want to include any movie reviews, you could structure your search as zombies, not movie reviews. Keep in mind that you should use not with caution, since it might remove some good search results. Now that you have a better understanding of Boolean operators, let's look at how to use them in multiple search boxes, which can refine your results. Here's what a basic keyword search looks like. It doesn't give us much to work with. Now let's take a look at what an advanced search can do. With multiple search boxes, we can really get some work done. Let's take a look at how we could structure our zombie vampire search. Now we have a powerful search: zombies or walkers or living dead, and vampires or bloodsuckers, not movie reviews. Notice how we broadened the search for zombies using or with synonyms, narrowed the search with and by adding vampires, Broaden the search using or synonyms for vampire, and narrow the search using not for movie reviews. Multiple boxes can make for pretty powerful searching. Let's take a look at another great tool for your research toolbox: phrase searching. Many times the keywords you use consist of more words, such as climate change or gender discrimination. This can be problematic since databases search for individual words, not necessarily two words together. To tell a database that you want to search for these words in this order, you will use phrase searching. Before you panic, let me tell you that phrase searching is simple. All you need to do is place the phrase in quotation marks. Phrase searching is a great way to narrow your results. Next in our box is truncation. I know, more library jargon. Truncation is a technique that broadens your search by using various word endings on a word root. The symbol for truncation may vary according to the database, but they are typically the asterisk or the number symbol. To use truncation, you will select the root word and use the symbol. For example, child asterisk equals child, child's, children, childhood, childish, or childlike. Anything that begins with child. This is where truncation can get tricky. You want to make sure that you use enough of the root word that you don't get bad results. Let's see what happens if we want to search for creativity, but use the term creat asterisk. We might get results using creature, creation, create, creating, creator, or creativity. There's a huge difference between creature and creativity, so use truncation carefully. And now let's look at the last tool. Remember, there are other search tools, but we will cover some of those in the next section. For now, let's take a look at subject searching. We know that keyword searches retrieve results that mention the search term. So how do we get to results that are about the search term? Subject searching. Let's take a look at a search. This is a keyword search. Notice that select a field is the same as keyword. Select a field is the default in many databases. This keyword search retrieved 24,939 results. That's a lot of material, and frankly, no one has the time to wade through all that. One way to narrow the results is to look to see if your keyword is a subject term or if there's a better subject term. Looking at the subject associated with a useful article, I see that zombies is a subject term. Now that I know, I can change my search from select a field, the keyword search, to SU subject terms. This time when I search, I have only 5,790 results. It's still quite a bit, but I know that these results are about my topic. Here's a quick review of what we covered in RB5. Keyword searching. Searching using the main concept of your topic using simple everyday words. Always start with a keyword search. Similar terms. Select similar terms or synonyms for your search terms to broaden your results. Not every result will use the same terms. Boolean operators, and or not. Use and to narrow results. Use or to broaden results. Use not to eliminate results. Use multiple search boxes in an advanced search to build your search strategy. Phrase searching. Place your phrase in quotation marks to instruct the database that you want these words in this order. Truncation. Use the root of a word and the truncation symbol, typically an asterisk or number symbol, to retrieve results for any word that begins with the root you selected. Subject searching. Look at the subjects listed for materials that are relevant to your topic. Subject searching narrows results by limiting to materials that are about your topic. What should you do if you're having trouble managing your results? Why, ask a librarian, of course. It's time to answer some questions about basic and advanced search strategies.